Guess who's back? Still doing that shit, Andre?
Hey guys, how's it going? It's Ryan back here. Welcome back to another video on the Ryan Racing channel. And yes, it has been a very long time. I'm sure you have missed me. Probably not. I'm not even going to try and explain what's been going on. We'll just say a lot of things been happening recently, so we'll just leave it at that anyway. Right, so yes, it is time now for the Belgian Grand Prix. One of my favourite ones on the calendar. Is one of the most iconic tracks, Spa-Francorchamps, I think I've said that right. It's a track just steeped in F1 history. It's a fantastic track, and it's a fun track to race on the F1 games. Always been one of my favourite, I absolutely love racing on it. So we have a lot to discuss. A lot of things have been happening recently in the F1. A lot of news, as they call it, F1 silly season. First one we should talk about, of course, I am repping McLaren merch today. The news that Daniel Ricciardo is leaving. He is leaving McLaren, which is something I don't think a lot of us were really too surprised at. He hasn't had the best times at McLaren. He had his high point, of course, when he won the Italian Grand Prix. Was it no, that's bad. I'm pretty sure it was Monza that he won, but I feel, yes, I'm pretty sure it was Monza. And I was delighted for them. It was a high point for his career. I mean, Daniel Ricciardo has been one of my favourite drivers for a long time, even back when he was at Red Bull. He is just such a character. He's someone that you want on the grid. He's hilarious during his interviews. And I just felt it would be such a good fit for him at McLaren. Him and Lando, had a wee bit of bromance going on. I thought it would work out for him, but for whatever reason, it hasn't worked out for him. When he got the win, I thought that was going to be it. I thought that was going to be his breakout moment. I mean, I even did a shoey for the guy. I ruined a good pair of Adidas Gazelles. In fact, play the clip. Hey. What are the shoes doing that? It was a bit of fun, of course. He's got one of the best podium celebrations. He even convinced Lewis Hamilton to do it after Lewis said he would never do it. So yeah, so it is a bit of a shame that is what's happened to him. I mean, to be honest, it probably is for the best for team and for driver, because I just don't think he's getting the most out of that car. I don't know if it's necessarily entirely his fault. I think it's 50-50. It's been a bit of, him not understanding the car, and then also maybe the team not fully backing him. Of course, they've got a lot invested in Lando Norris. He is clearly their number one driver. He's signed a new massive 5-year deal, whatever it was. They've got, he is the future. They've got a lot invested in him, and he was always going to be priority. Daniel was coming in probably knowing that was going to be the case, but maybe he never expected it to be as hard as it has been for him. I mean, we don't really know what's going on. We've only got a slight glimpse behind the scenes during Drive Survive Season 4. We got a wee bit behind the scenes going on there, and you could tell he was having a tough time, but we didn't get to see all of it, and we probably will never know all what's happened. But Daniel he seems a little bit gutted. I did watch his interviews and that. He does seem a bit gutted. I can understand why, but I do think that he will have a drive for next season. I think what's going to happen is he will take the place of Alonso, of course, who's gone to Aston Martin, which was a very strange decision. But I don't know what's happened there. But fair enough. If that's what he wants to do, that's what he wants to do. At least that way, Danny can take his seat. It makes sense for you, because of course Alpine were formerly Renault, which Ricciardo had 2 seasons with. He was all right there, fairly successful. He got a couple of podiums with them, and I think it could be a good move for him. Just now I think McLaren and Alpine are almost on level ground just now. The two teams that should be battling for 4th, probably the case next season as well. Wait and see what happens. And of course, that means Piastri, who is in Alpine's academy currently, will be taking his seat in McLaren. And that whole situation is bizarre. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I don't know an awful lot about Oscar Piastri. Obviously, he's very highly thought of. Another Australian as well. He's been doing pretty good in F2. But I just think it's really strange that he's not taking the opportunity of taking up the seat for F1. I mean, he's been in their driver academy for God knows how long. They have pretty much paid all his fees and that. They've given him a drive. They've backed him, and for him to come out and say, "No, I want to go to McLaren instead," a wee bit disrespectful, I'm not going to lie. As much as I like McLaren, of course, they are one of my favourite teams, I still think it's highly disrespectful, personally, for him to do this. So I don't know if there's been some dealings behind the scenes. It seems like McLaren have potentially gone under or gone over Alpine here to get the deal done, because he seemed to know more than what they knew about it. And yeah, we don't know what's going on. There was talk about perhaps taking this to court. We don't know how that's going to pan out. I don't know, the whole situation's a bit of a mess. It's yeah, it's a strange one. But hopefully it all works out in the end. Hopefully that it means Ricciardo can take the seat in Alpine, and then also Piastri goes to McLaren, and all that other stuff. So yeah, and that was the news. Oh, also another thing that was announced yesterday, for the new regulations for 2026, we have Audi coming in. This is something that's been talked about for a long time, Audi getting into the sport. I mean, they already are in Formula E, they have a team in Formula E, so they'll be coming in. And they're coming as an engine supplier, or manufacturer, not necessarily a team as of yet, but things could change. And having more teams or more engines on the grid is a good thing, because I think as it stands, there's only 4 just now. We've got Ferrari, Mercedes, Renault, and the Red Bull powertrain, which of course was Honda, but now Red Bull have got that. So having more engine manufacturers in is good. I think it's more competition. More teams can have a choice of really what they want to go for. And there's also a talk of Porsche as well getting in, which could potentially happen as well, because I believe Porsche and Audi are owned by Volkswagen. I could be wrong in saying that, but I think that is the case. So if Audi were to go in, maybe Porsche would get in as well. And obviously Porsche have got a lot of like investment in motorsports anyway. Porsche Super Cup. I could be wrong in saying, but I think they might have a team in Formula E, or they might sponsor a team. I'm not 100% clued up in Formula E. I don't watch an awful lot of Formula E, to be perfectly honest with you. I only really watch highlights every now and then if I'm bothered. So anyway, that's the news out of the way. Let's get that done with. And now let's talk about the Belgian Grand Prix. So yeah, it's back after its summer break, and it's back in Belgium, which I'm really looking forward to. Currently, as it stands, it's Saturdays now as I'm recording this. It's just after watching a wee bit of the final free practice session, so I've not watched qualifying yet. So this might be a bit of a daft decision to go ahead and do a prediction before we've even seen qualifying. But we kind of have a little bit of an inkling to what's going on, especially after the news that there'll be a couple of the front runners taking engine penalties. So that will mean they'll be starting from the back grid. Likes of Charles Leclerc is starting from the back grid, and Max Verstappen. So that makes things a bit more interesting. I mean, I'm not ruling out the fact that one of them can go on to win the race. It can happen. We've seen Max in Hungary go from 10th to 1st. It's obviously not as much of a challenge as going from last to 1st, but it can be done. I'm not going to rule anything out. But yeah, just looking at the practice sessions, it's looking like it's Ferrari and Red Bull once again being on top. I believe Carlos Sainz was top in FP1, then for FP2 it was Verstappen, and now I'm pretty sure Perez just got there ahead of Max and Charles. So it is looking like it's the same. So I'm going to go ahead and give you my top 3, who I think is going to top 3. I've not even seen qualifying, I'm just going to go for it. So for the winner of this race, I believe it's going to be a little Ferrari upset. I think Carlos could be on for a good race here. It's going to be tough for him, because I think he'll be up against it majority of the race. I believe it will be Perez who will be constantly battling him for the win. And that being said, I think Perez will be second on the grid. Well, second on the podium place rather. And then 3rd place, it was a bit of a toss-up. You've got Lando looking fairly decent. Of course, the Mercedes are looking a bit better now. Could potentially Charles or Max manage to get all the way. You never know, that could happen. But what I'm gonna go for George Russell. I think this season he's been one of the most consistent drivers. He has really found some good form in that Mercedes, and they haven't been the best this season, Mercedes. They have struggled at times, but I feel like George has been able to get the best out of that car. And recently Hamilton has found a bit of form himself. I think he's been outscoring George recently. But I think that George, just down to the consistency, I believe he can get that 3rd place for Mercedes. So we'll have 3 different teams on the podium. That'll make things a bit more interesting. That's what I think is going to happen. I'd love to hear what you guys have got to say about the Belgian Grand Prix. Please leave your predictions in the comment section below. And I'll probably be back on Monday to either Monday or Sunday. I'll wait and see to talk about the Belgian Grand Prix. Yeah, I do want to get back into doing this, guys. It's been a long time, I know. And I know not many people watch my channel, but I've always just done it as a bit of a hobby, as I just love talking about F1. It's one of my favourite sports. And yeah, I'm so glad it's back. I'm looking forward to the qualifying today and the race tomorrow. Hopefully we're in for a good one. And we never know, could it be wet? Well, we never know, because we've got a first wet practice session, and you can never rule out rain in Belgium. It's always there, isn't it? Anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one. And before I go, I almost forgot, I have a special guest. I meant to show you guys him. Everyone, please welcome to the channel, Lafferty. This is my wee pal Lafferty, and he was actually going to give us predictions. Isn't that right, Lafferty? I forgot, he's camera shy. Do you want to just tell me them, then I'll let them know, yeah? Oh, really? Interesting. Okay, so Lafferty has gone for, in first place, he's gone for Verstappen. You know, why not? I mean, it can happen. Second place, he has gone for, wait, what did you say? Okay, you know he doesn't race anymore. Okay. He seems to think Kimi Räikkönen is going to make a surprise appearance and come second on the grid. That would be amazing if that was to happen. And who was your third place? The Undertaker. Right, you don't know anything from F1, do you? Right, just get out here. Sorry, guys, that was a daft wee joke there anyway. I'll see you guys all in the next one. Maybe if you like Lafferty can make more appearances, we'll have to wait and see. Anyway, guys, see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.